What's going on, everybody? Welcome to J Sports Seattle. In this video, I'm going to go on a little rant. So just right off the bat, disclaimer, this is going to be sort of a slightly rant video. I will try to keep my composure, though, and try not to destroy your guys' ears. But just in case I do, just keep your volume low on this video because this was horrible. This was really bad. This honestly might be worse than that Seahawks opening loss. And even then they've rebounded from it, so that's really irrelevant. But this is worse than that. No, I do not. Sorry. But I'm just going to be going over whatever every single one of you guys have seen or heard the press conference. The postseason press conference, or, after the season ended. So I'm just going to be talking about this and my thoughts about it. So if you like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more Mariners and Seattle sports content. This will probably be my final, this will be my final Mariners video until spring training time. So, but without further ado, let's get on with the video. All right. So as you guys know, Dipoto, Hollander, Service all had a press conference yesterday. As of the making of this video, was yesterday, Wednesday, October 4th. Well, it was actually October 3rd, but this is from Tuesday, October 3rd. But this is from Como News from yesterday, October 4th. And Dipoto really just absolutely embarrassed this entire franchise. The teams, the entire players, the fans and the front office, and overall just the entire team itself, franchise itself, completely embarrassed the entire franchise with these comments. And we're gonna get over them, and I'm gonna put my 2 cents on this. And just in case I start yelling again, I will say it once more: keep the volume low, because I am going to be putting a lot of passion into this, because I care about this just as much as you guys do. So, without further ado, let's go on. See, there's always next year. It's something Mariners fans have heard again and again and again and again, and no longer accept, because we keep getting duped by the front office. But it's true. This team does have an outstanding foundation of young stars like Julio Rodriguez. Like I said in the past, Julio's young, but he can't be the one that has to step up to the plate. As good as he is, it's a lot to ask out of your second-year player. So here's what he said. Here's what Dipoto said after being eliminated from postseason contention this year. We're looking at a 6 to 10 year window, said President of Baseball Operations Jerry Dipoto. When I talk about sustainability, I can't tell you what year we're going to win this World Series. Well, no, you don't tell us by words. You tell us in actions, and so far your actions have not told us that. That's fans. You have not told us as management, as a front office. You have not told us anything in your actions. I can tell you that if we win 54% of our games over the course of a decade, you're going to win a World Series, Dipoto said. We think more broadly. We think over an extended period of time, and our goal would be that over the course of that decade, you get to the postseason 7 or 8 times that you are in a position to win it. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm sure you guys have already, figured this out yourself. This is a load of bullshit. This is the most amount of bullshit you could ever hear from a person of power like he is. Like, are you serious? 54% of our games. You're telling me that you're okay with us winning 54% of our games? You think that's acceptable? As the president of baseball operations, you think that is an acceptable thing to say to your fans? What the hell is wrong with you? That is a unique and interesting statistic. One that, if it were to come to fruition in Seattle, would certainly be worth it in every way. To reach a 54% winning percentage over a decade, the Mariners would need to average 88 wins per year. And look what happened. We got 88 wins per year, and what did that do? We missed the playoffs by 1 game because of that shit. When Dipoto elaborated, there was one part that, at least on social media, had fans upset. Dipoto's message for fans was any team striving for a championship needs to look forward instead of focusing on a single year. He said in the press conference that if you can't do that, you might be one of the teams lying in the mud that can't get up for another decade. No, man. No. When you make the playoffs, You're supposed to build off that. It's not supposed to be some multi-year thing. No, when you make the playoffs, you're in win now mode. That's not how it works. That's not how sports work. I feel like this shit is what Stanton's been telling these guys to say. Dipoto, Hollander, you are a part of this as well, along with the Stanton thing that I went over in my previous video. You are part of the problem. You are part of the reason why we are the way we are right now. Constantly settling for below 95 win seasons and missing the playoffs. That's not okay. That's not. What made you think that was an acceptable thing to say to your fans? Not only to your fans, to your teammates, to your coaches. Why? So we're actually doing the fan base a favor and asking for their patience to win the World Series while we build a substantially good roster. You had that chance last year, my guy. Are you serious? What? You thought bringing in Kolten Wong, Tommy LaStella, and A.J. Pollock was a good way to surround our young guys with talent? Players that have not really done shit the past couple years? No. What are you doing? That is unacceptable. You're not doing nobody a favor but yourselves. And your payroll. You're doing nobody a favor but yourselves. You're not doing the fan base any favor by saying this shit. You're just coming off as narcissists and thinking that you know everything when clearly you don't, or else you'd be in the playoffs right now. To be clear, Dipoto said we're actually doing the fan base a favor and asking for the patience to win the World Series. Like I said, no, that's not how it works. And yeah, just like Como's saying now, I expected, that's not sitting well with you guys. It's not sitting well with me. You hear me yelling into my mic right now, going crazy. He says, in the context of what he was saying, he's preaching the Mariners' formula for the future, one that has turned this team into at least a playoff contender in 3 consecutive years, with Dipoto admitting 2021 was ahead of schedule. Where it didn't land with fans, of course, is that they've been patient for a generation. We have been patient for 20 years. You give us hope last year for the first time. You sweep the Blue Jays in their home. You move on to the divisional series. You lose game 1 and then blow the rest of the games. I won't call game 3 a blow because 18 innings is impressive no matter who you are in this league. But you gave us hope that we were on the verge of making a World Series appearance and potentially winning it. No, man. You duped us all. You had us all fooled. Like I said in my last video. Stanton, you, Hollander, have made us all fooled. You had us all fooled. Scott Service does not get any blame in this. He's just the manager. He's just the guy that coaches the teams. He has no say. He has no say on who. I'm sure he does, but he doesn't have the final authority and decision making for bringing in players like Hollander, like Dipoto and Hollander has. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that much sway as these two. He can just give. That goes with any coach in any league, unless you're unless like Pete Carroll, he's vice president of football operations, so he knows what's best. And how did that work out for us in the past 13 years? He's been our head coach / vice president of football operations. We've made the playoffs. What? 10 out of 13 years. Won a Super Bowl, made 2. And what happened? Like, come on, man. So don't blame Service for this. Blame these two and Stanton are the people you need to blame. It says, okay, we will have a higher payroll next year. I want to see you do that. Stop speaking with your words and start speaking with your actions. So far you haven't done shit. The only signing you have done since in your tenure, with Stanton being owner and in your tenure, was the Luis Castillo extension. And I'm not really counting that because that was due. We need. See, you did that on the defensive side over the pitching, but you haven't done it on the hitting, and that's where us fans are getting pissed off because you're not spending resources on the parts of the team that need help, and that's hitting. Let me see here. So, to Dipoto's credit, he admitted right away that the offseason signings and trades that didn't work out ahead of the 2023 season, Kolten Wong, A.J. Pollock, and Tommy LaStella, all 3 of which were either traded or DFA'd at some point during the season. A.J. Pollock was traded to the Giants, Tommy LaStella was cut, and Kolten Wong was cut. It says, after all, if just one game from a rough May or June goes the other way, the vibe is entirely different surrounding the Mariners. And that's because we traded Sewald. As much as I like Munoz, as much as I like Brash, they don't have the command and the authority to close a game as much as Sewald did. Look at what Sewald just did in the playoffs against the Brewers. He has 2 saves, and now they swept the Brewers and are moving on to the division series against the Dodgers. You traded that guy. That is your fault. That is your loss. And they need to sit there and look at this. But it seems like they just don't give a damn. Let's see. It says, it was a fail and sure I regret it. It was a fail and sure I regret it. I mean, yeah, you said that, but that doesn't sound like you put any tenacity into that, any passion into what you said there and what you guys did. Those 3 were not only a fail, they were a massive blunder. A massive blunder. And that cost us our season, mind you. The only thing that you guys did was trade for Teoscar. He had a slow start, but he came through in the second half. He said, I wish I could go back and do it again. Yeah, you say that now. But would you? I wish I could go back and do it again, but all you can do is fix things moving forward. DePoto continued. I don't know if the last 8 years have resonated with anybody in the room. I don't spend a lot of my time looking back and lamenting. It's not productive. Well, clearly you need to, because look what you just did. You need to lament over what you just did because you cost the team a playoff spot, potentially a division series, a division win. Because you did not surround our young players with quality talent. I already went over my previous video. Look at the teams that have a top that are World Series contenders, not playoff contenders, World Series contenders. The Astros, the Rangers, the Dodgers. They're all top 10 in payroll. Atlanta, top 10 in payroll. And I'm talking about World Series contenders, not playoff contenders. Right now, their mindset right now is playoff contenders. They may say World Series contenders, but their actions are speaking playoff contenders. And that is unacceptable, especially since we just made the playoffs. Like I said, when you make the playoffs, your goal from there on out, is to turn yourself from a playoff contender into a World Series contender. You clearly are still stuck on the playoff contenders-ish. That's not okay. Now, moving on, this was a few hours ago as of Seattle Sports, Brock and Salk. He did apologize for everything that he said, but it's because he was forced to. It's because all the fans weren't happy with what he said, because rightfully so. What you said was a load of bullshit. So let's see what he said. I actually haven't read this over yet, so let's see what he said. So Tuesday's quote, and I'll repeat it again. I can't tell you what year we're going to win this World Series. I can tell you that if we win 54% of our games over the course of a decade, you're going to play in the World Series. First, I'd like to say I'm generally embarrassed by the way that at least that comment, and especially one was other... Wait, I'm sorry, I'm going to repeat that. First, I'd like to say I'm generally embarrassed by the way at least that comment, and especially one other, was received. There's 2 byes there, which is strange. I've been doing this job or roles like this for a long time now, and I've made mistakes. I've made my fair share like most do, and this was kind of one of those times. I just did a poor job of illustrating the points that I was trying to make, and in one case, I chose to try humor to lighten a grave question, and obviously that wasn't the moment called for. That wasn't what the moment called for. No shit, Sherlock. I mean, we all told you that before you even made this apology. And first, I'd like to say I'm generally embarrassed by the way at least that comment. No, you screwed up, dude. You screwed up by saying what you said. All right, you said with this one, the 54%, I just completely whiffed in my attempt to paint a big picture baseline of what obviously makes more sense to me than our fans and media. Our goal isn't to be mediocre. Our goal is to win championships and to play a high level for a long time, and that's what I'm trying to convey. No, if you're saying 54%, that's basically being mediocre. You're not conveying that you want to win championships. Instead of saying 54%, it said if we win as many games as we can possible, win 70% of our games. That's way better. You can definitely make a World Series appearance winning 70% of your games. 54%, no. The 54%, you barely get into a wild card picture. And that's if you get lucky. Like this year, we didn't get lucky because we missed it by a game. Missed the division by 2. So, 2 things. You either said this for 2 things. One, you really did completely whiff, and you have no idea what you're talking about. Or 2, it doesn't matter what the fans say. It's all what you say, which is both narcissistic, not good. I wish I could hit reset and try it again, but that moment's gone. He's literally, this is, what? Literally the same thing you just said here about Tommy LaStella and Colton Wong. You say that after you get caught. Like, are you serious? That's unacceptable. The best I can do is continue to try to be candid and accessible, and I feel like over my time here, we've done that. Players, staff, all of our personnel. We want our fans to feel like they're part of the team and at minimum have a front row seat to what's happening. We tell them what we're doing and then we do that thing. Yeah. You tell us what you're doing, we tell you that it's not acceptable, and you continue doing it. You say you want the fans to feel part of the team, well listen to us, damn it. Listen to your fans. If you want to make fans feel like they're a part of the team, you're going to go sign Shohei Ohtani. Because most of the fan base wants Shohei in Seattle, especially since he won't be able to pitch. We need hitting. The DH spot has been a disaster for the past couple years, and we've been mixing and matching this year with Mike Ford, Canzone, Teo, and it's been a disaster at the DH spot. So if you want to make I'll repeat again, if you want the fans to feel like they are part of the team, you're going to go sign Shohei Ohtani. Because that's literally what a lot of the fans, including myself, sorry if you heard that, are saying. We tell them what we're doing and then we do that thing. They may not always agree with it or like it, but we're very candid in that way. I can assure everyone that we want to win. And the 54%, if you look back over the history of baseball, and I actually said this in the press conference, unfortunately it didn't make it to the cuts, but if you look back over the history of baseball since the divisional format came to be in 1969, in decade-long segments, teams that averaged or achieved 54% win percentage over a 10-year period or greater, they tend to wind up in the World Series and consistent members of the postseason. So basically, he apologized. So basically, reading this, he apologized for what he said and then doubled down on what he said. He's basically going back and trying to find a way to justify the 54% win percentage thing. Like, dude, it doesn't matter what statistics say. You're supposed to win as many games as possible. Not settle for 54% and be okay with that. Oh, we're going to win 54% of our games. We might win a World Series. No, damn it. You're supposed to win as many games as possible. Stop shooting for mediocrity. Stop shooting for 88, 90 wins. Shoot for 100. Why do you feel like you have to win 54% of your games to make a World Series? Go win the damn division. Look at the Dodgers. Look at the Astros. Look at the Braves. They're out here winning hundreds of games. 100-game seasons. And they're winning the division. And look what they're doing. They're perennial World Series contenders. Like, are you freaking serious? We're not trying to win 54% of our games. We're trying to win 100% of our games. Obviously, that's not possible, but, I get what he's saying there. But still, literally anything that you say from here on out does not erase the fact what you said. What you said is set in stone. What you said is gonna be replayed in Mariners fans' minds over and over and over again until you win us a World Series. The 54% is, if you reach that bar and you're able to stay at or above that bar for a 10-year period, you're going to play in a World Series. And I say that confidently because it's true. 19 teams have been able to do that in decade-long increments. 19 different teams, and 16 of them have played in the World Series, and many have won championships. That's what I was trying to say, and it probably makes more sense to me. And for that, I apologize. Okay, this makes sense. I will admit, Dipoto, this makes sense. But still, the way you conveyed that, I know you apologize for it, but it still makes it seem like you're okay with settling for 54%, or for 54% win percentage. So, just, if you really meant this, I don't know. But next time, don't try to pull out some half-assed comment like this, because you are going to get irate reactions like you just did from me and from the fan base, which you already have. So, We're not trying to string you out. We're not trying to ask people to wait another decade. The significance of that is, in this decade, what we're doing, that's what we're doing. From the start of the COVID summer in 2020, we have played at that level. We've reached one postseason. We hope to reach many more, but we do it in a process-oriented way. And obviously, I did a poor job of trying to convey that thought, and I feel badly about it. All right. So if you feel bad about what you're doing and what you said and how you've done things so far, then you're going to switch it up and you're going to go out this free agency and go get some players. You're going to go get Shohei. Like I said, I'm talking to you, Dipoto. I'm talking to you, Hollander, and I'm talking to all the front office and the ownership. I'm talking to you guys. Shohei's price tag has dropped significantly because of his UCL issue or Tommy John issue. He won't be able to pitch until 2025, and that's okay because we don't need him for his pitching. We will use him for his pitching. He's going to be the number one. He's going to be the slated number one starter. Luis Castillo will be the number two if we were to get him and we sign him to a multi-year contract. But right now we need hitting, and Shohei can fill that DH spot. You can fill that DH spot while looking for other options for third base, second base, and first base. Because like I said in my previous video, as much as I like Eugenio Suarez, he has not really given us the offensive production that we want. He went from 30 homers in 2022 to 20 homers, not even 20 homers, and one of them struck out the most of any player in the league, at like top 3. Ty France hasn't literally had like a multi-week stretch of not hitting a home run, and we're constantly struck out. That's not good. Second, like I said, second base has been a disaster since Robbie Cano. And you got to fix that. And the only way you can do that, you can't do that by settling for washed 30, 40, 35-year-old players. You need to go get young guys that have proven that they can be that guy, whether in the World Series or just in general, and are stuck on a crappy team, and sign them to, bag. There is no salary cap in the MLB. So go do it. We're actually doing the fan base a favor in asking for their patience to win this World Series while we continue to build a sustainably good roster. You, like I said, you are doing nobody any favors but yourself by saying this. I was trying to use a little bit of humor. Dude. I'm sorry, bro. That's not okay. You hyped this entire team up the entire offseason. You missed the postseason, and you think humor is going to cut it? In your explanations, in your in your press conference, nah, that's like I said, that's narcissism right there, and that's not what we want in a GM or in a president of baseball operations. That's not okay. That's unacceptable. That is abysmal, and that is a travesty to all of the good GMs in football president of baseball operations that actually bust their asses to make sure the team wins. That's such a travesty right there. The question that I was asked was regarding the addition of big stars and what do you tell your fan base if you don't deliver the big star, and then does the World Series come? And the simple answer to that is adding a big star is much easier when you develop the big star, and we'll look at our center fielder, Julio Rodriguez, as an example, or the longtime great center fielder for the Mariners and Ken Griffey Jr. Ah, damn it, no! You cannot bring Ken Griffey into this, all right? Because at least back then, I wasn't alive for this, but at least back then, they actually tried to surround players, or try to surround Ken Griffey with quality players. They gave him Ichiro, they gave him A-Rod. So, no, you cannot use that. You cannot use Ken Griffey as an example here. And many more back then in the early 2000s, late 1990s. Acquiring a big star from outside is also contingent on the big star, so I can't guarantee you when that will happen. And I also have been involved in professional baseball all my life, and to think that you're going to predict when we will win a World Series is silly. You're not going to be able to do that. And all we can do is continue to execute sound process and build a roster that is good enough to go and compete with the best teams in the league. This is the issue with your problem, Dipoto. This is the issue with your statement, Dipoto, what you just said here. We're not predicting. We're not predicting when we're going to win the World Series. We're wanting you to have us win a World Series now. That's the issue with your statement. You can't say this shit and expect that it's just going to fly. That's not the point. The point is that we made the playoffs in 2022. You're supposed to build off that. You're supposed to bring in more players. That's literally how it works in all sports, man. Like, seriously. All sports. When a team makes the playoffs, you attract more and more players. The Suns, they made the finals in 2021, and they attracted the likes of KD and Bradley Beal. Are you serious? And what did we do with Julio Rodriguez? You decided to trade for Colton Wong, get AJ Pollock, and Tom LaStella, and thought that was a good idea. Instead of getting free big free agent names such as Xander Bogaerts, such as Dansby Swanson, Trey Turner, like completely unacceptable from what we're hearing from our president, quote unquote, president of baseball operations. While none of us is happy that we're sitting at home during the playoffs, and that's how I opened up the comments on Tuesday, we feel proud of what we've built over time. We do feel like this roster is built to be a championship roster moving forward, and now we need to go out and we need to add more pieces and find the extra office. Thank you. That's literally what we've been saying this entire year, dude. Like, why are you just now catching up to the party? We've been saying this since we made the playoffs last year. And you decided, adding Colton Wong. I'm going to repeat this as many times as it takes. You decided that adding Colton Wong, AJ Pollock, and Tommy LaStella was a good idea instead of getting big names in free agency. Not okay. Let's see. Find a way to solve some of our needs, but recognize that we continue to get better in a lot of ways. Like I said, you cannot build a system completely within and expect to win a World Series. Like I said, you need to go get veterans that have been there, done that, or at least bring a veteran experience of the game to your team. Like I said, the Seahawks, they had Brandon Browner. Who else? I can't think of, like, I'm more focused on this, but like we had a bunch of vets from different teams that came to the team after we made the playoffs in 2012 and attracted more free agents. And look what happened. We won the Super Bowl that year and made another one the year after. Why can't you look at that and see, yeah, this is what we need to do? Like, seriously? Like, come on, man. I tried to use humor to diffuse the situation and I whiffed. Clearly, I'm not a very funny person. I shouldn't have gone there. But that's what I did, and I can only apologize. And again, I tell you that I'm embarrassed by it. Here's the thing, bro. It doesn't matter if you're humorous or not. The thing is right now, this is a serious situation. Your team just missed the playoffs again. It's okay if you're a funny person, but you cannot do that. That's unacceptable for what you did. You literally embarrassed Mariners fans by doing that. And you should be embarrassed. And we're going to let you hear about it for the whole year. We're honestly going to let you hear about it until either you win us a World Series or until you're fired. And even then, if you're fired, we're going to continue to let you hear about it. So, not okay. Dude, seriously, I don't even know how this guy's still on the team after this. If the portal was on any other franchise, literally on any other franchise, and said this bullshit, he would immediately be fired the next day. But we're the Mariners. Stanton doesn't give a damn about the team, apparently. So here we are. Like, this is just unacceptable from our front office. And Justin Hollander looks to sit there and not say shit. He's just sitting there and he knows what he's talking about. No, man, you need to step up and get in there. So this is not okay. And like I said, we need to go into free agency and get big names that can help us win. Make this team roster better than what it was. Not now. I can't even say last year because we missed the playoffs. Better than that 2022 roster. Because, man, this is unacceptable. Last year, 2022. Unacceptable. And I can't believe you thought saying all this was a good idea. And we're going to let you hear about, like I said, we're going to let you hear about this until you win us a World Series or until you're booted. And we get somebody else. It's just, I don't know what to say other than I'm speechless. I mean, like I said, I went on a whole rant, but in the end, it still doesn't change. It still makes me feel like I'm speechless. Like, this is such a speechless moment right here. A speechless thing to hear from our president of baseball operations. Like, that's just, it's just, you sometimes, at times, I'm at a loss of words to what to say. Like, sometimes I stutter. I stutter a lot normally, because I do have a stutter. But in this situation, it's just bad. It's just really bad. And Dipoto, the only way you can make up for what you've said and what you've did these past few years is to win us a World Series by getting us quality players to surround Julio. Because right now, Julio is the only superstar on our team. We have no other stars on our team. Literally none. Julio, like, on the offensive side. Obviously, we got Luis Castillo. Obviously, we got George Kirby on the defensive side. But on the offensive side, we literally have no superstars outside of, or stars outside of Julio. Like, and that's unacceptable. Like, you look at any other teams that are in the playoffs and are World Series contenders, the Braves, the Dodgers, the Astros, they have multiple stars on their team. The Braves have Olsen. They have Acuna. They have Michael Harris. Who do the Dodgers have? They have Freddie Freeman. They have they got Bogarts. Like, are you serious? Oh, no, not Bogarts. Sorry, Bogarts is on the Padres. I mean, here. I'm spacing on who they have, but you get my point. I'm going to bring this up, too. They got Mookie Betts. They got Freddie Freeman. Like, they got multiple stars on their team on the offensive side that can come through whenever. Will Smith's starting to turn into a star. Like, David Peralta's really good. Not okay. And then you go to the Astros. They got Kyle Tucker. They got Alex Bregman. They got Yordan Alvarez. They got Jose Altuve. Do I need to go on, Dipoto? So not okay. You need to go out in free agency. You need to go get Shohei Ohtani or any other bats that will help Julio, because this is unacceptable the way you handled this last offseason. If you have, if you have any sort of offseason like you did last year and stay cheap as hell, and I'm speaking to you, too, Stanton, and you go into this offseason being cheap as hell and don't get quality bats, oh man, I'm gonna call for a boycott of the team. I'm gonna start calling for a boycott, because this is not okay. Unacceptable. And I'm not the only one that's going to be calling for boycott. I've seen multiple Mariners fans across various social medias talking about boycotting home games, like the first of every month. You don't want that to happen, do you? No, you don't. So you better go give us some help. So, I've ranted on for probably 20 plus minutes, if not close to 30. This might be I don't know how long this video will be by the time I end it, but it might be the longest video I've made. But yeah, this is unacceptable. Like, from our front office to think that this is okay. So you need to fix this shit, man. Seriously, fix it, because this is unacceptable, Dipoto. What you said is unacceptable. What your actions said last season, unacceptable. So I want to see a massive change and show that you actually mean what you said and mean your apology, or else, like I said, we're gonna start boycotting and start calling for your job. And start calling for Stanton to sell the team, because I know he's involved in this too. And Hollander, you're not off the hook either. You cannot be condoning this ish. You need to step in. I don't know if you agree with anything that Dipoto says, but apparently you do, or else Dipoto would still wouldn't be on the team. So you need to stop this. You need to get on this too and stop this, because it's unacceptable. So, but I'm gonna end it here before I absolutely lose my mind. So, if you like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Comment below on your thoughts on this. I'm going to be making a Kraken video soon enough. The first Kraken game is next Tuesday, as of making this video, against the Golden Knights. So I'll probably be making a preview of the season and just a preview of that game as well. So stay tuned for that. And like I said, if you like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more Mariners and Seattle sports content. Thank you for stopping by. Have a good day. And go Hawks, go Mariners, and go Kraken.